So you want to DJ in Ibiza. You want to play at High, or Ushuaia, or Amnesia, and play to thousands of people each week. Well, how'd you go about it? In today's video, we're going to look at just that. Let's go. Well, this summer season is fully in swing. We're mid-August right now at the time of recording, and it does look really good from the videos on social media. It looks pumping, looks crowds, great, and it makes you want to DJ out there. Sheer lots of FOMO for sure. Maybe you've got a trip planned in the coming weeks before the end of the season, and you're thinking, I'd love to get a gig out there. Okay, when it comes to the big clubs, like the ones we spoke about at the start, I'm going to burst the bubble. This isn't going to happen this year. Those ones are locked in and they are planned. It's just not going to happen. So we need to start thinking about 2024 and maybe even 2025 for those types of gigs, depending on which level you're at. Good news is, as soon as the season finishes, some of the promotions teams start working on next year straight away. So let's set our expectations a little bit lower for 2023. And let's say if you've never been to Ibiza before, and this is the first time you're going to the island, set them really low. For you, my friends, this year's trip is about networking and it's about building a friend base. And my big suggestion for this, if you're just brand new to Ibiza, is go book a flight, book a hotel, go and experience the island, go and work out the landscape of the bars and the club scenes, and just meet people. Over the last 5 years, I've helped over 400 DJs through my course, The Artist Blueprint. And before DJs and producers get on my course, I have a discovery call with them. And I ask them loads of questions about themselves and really I'm trying to understand about them, where they are at the moment and what their goals are. And a big part of that goal section will be, I want to play more gigs. I want to tour the world. I want to play in Ibiza. And a big part of getting that DJ gig or set, as you want to call it, is about the people you know. At the heart of this industry is people, and people book other people. So who do you know? When it comes to playing in Ibiza, and if you're a small act, then it's first and foremost, get out there and network. You need to know where you want to play as well. As I mentioned at the start, everyone wants to play at, High, Ushuaia, DC10, Amnesia, the big clubs. But we're going to need to build up to playing those events unless you have more going on, which I'm going to cover later in this video. But if you're a DJ, there are still a plethora of places you can play, including bars, venues, boat parties, after parties, secret villa parties, and a host of other small parties across the island. So as ever, when it comes to gigs, where do you want to play? And it's about knowing that landscape of where you want to play. So get on a plane, head to Ibiza. If you're watching this and Ibiza season's finished, then the best time is early season when it's not that busy. Get out there and network. If you're watching this video at the time it drops, then there's still some time, but don't try and do this networking through closing parties. That is an awful idea. People are too busy. It's rammed. It's some of the busiest weeks of the year. Just go out and have fun. Right, you've landed. Head to San Antonio, Ibiza town, Playa de Embosa, and get down those strips and understand the bar culture, because there are tons of gigs in those bar cultures. Go out there in the afternoons and understand the afternoon party scene, the warm-up scene. Go out in the evening and find out which ones are popping, and then the next day go and have lunch and a drink and meet the bar owners during the day and start asking the questions. Add those bars on Instagram, add those party promotions on Instagram, add other DJs you see playing that you can also talk to afterwards. Maybe add them to your favorites section in Instagram so you can keep an eye on them quite easily by just going to the favorites tab in Instagram. This phase of getting gigs in Ibiza is definitely about networking, pressing the flesh, meeting as many people as humanly possible, not trying to get gigs at the start. The next great place to play is boat parties. And as my super secret alias, don't tell anyone, Ron Mexico, I've played a load of boat parties over the year in Ibiza. They're great fun. You go out for a few hours, you play some music, people jump off the boat, there's a lot of swimming, there's a lot of partying, there's a lot of drunkenness. They're great fun. The tech sometimes is questionable and it gives you a whole new learning, which is amazing. And there's a whole challenge from playing these parties. They also will have promotions teams on them coordinating the party. You'll probably meet them as you get on. Don't question them then. But once the boat's in full swing and it's happening, go and chat to them. Offer to buy them a beer. So get yourself a ticket to a boat party, go and hang out and potentially meet your next gig in Ibiza. Before we carry on, let's do a quick networking 101. When it comes to networking, there's 3 big points. The first one is don't steamroller in and go, I want a gig. Whether this is in person or worse in the DMs, steamrolling going, book me, terrible idea. Remember, friends book friends. Like I said, offer to buy them a beer if you're in person. You have to build up to that ask of getting a gig. So if you're on a boat and it's packed and it's pumping, go in with a compliment. Hey, this is great fun. I'm enjoying myself. Lovely to meet you. Simple, simple. I know this is sometimes it's baby steps for people, but I'm just putting it all down for you. Maybe ask some questions. How are you booking the DJs? When do you start booking the DJs? Maybe you drop in what you've done so far. Or if it's really, really early in your career, drop in. I'd love to play a boat party someday. I've just started DJing. Oh, I'd love to do this. It'd be my dream. It puts you on their radar. If someone told me that on a boat party, I'd remember them and I'd go, that guy or girl, I'll maybe get them on. Point number 2, get their name, contacts, Instagrams, put them in your notes, swap numbers, get them on WhatsApp so you can keep in contact when you get home. Remember, a lot of this is going to happen back in your home country. Remember, you're thinking this booking as long term, and you're going to need to keep them interested in what you're doing out of season so that you're building up this relationship so that when it comes to season, the potential bookings is there. Maybe the next move is to connect with a party in the DMs and again, start just messaging back and forward. Remember, friends book friends. Then point number 3, when it comes to the ask, it's a much easier process. You're already friends, you're networking, you've hung out, even when this is in the DMs, then it becomes, hey, I'm coming over this summer, I'd love to play for you. Is there any chance of getting a gig? Add to the fact maybe there's a group coming over. Remember, this is businesses and people have got to sell these boats out. So there's a group coming over us. I'd love to play. Or I can bring a group over. Adding things to the value of you playing is going to bring those early gigs. Okay, we've chatted bars and boats and networking 101. Now let's get on to the big gigs. So how do we get those big shows in Ibiza? When I spoke to the head of Amnesia Bookings, Neil Evans, back in IMS in April, he said, if you want to get booked for my shows, then you need to come hang out at my shows, meet me, hang out at the party, understand the party. First and foremost, come to my shows, and then we'll talk about bookings. For those that don't know what IMS Ibiza is, it's a dance music conference. It's back in April. They're amazing. Neil was just stood by the pool and I went up and chatted to him, had a great conversation. You can have those sort of conversations with those sort of people at places like IMS Ibiza. If you don't know what dance music conference is, check out this video. I spoke about a load of dance music conferences you should check out because there's another one coming up in October and it's an absolute killer. These places are great for networking and are great for meeting people that are going to help shape your career. So when it comes to these big bookings, it's about the product. And I know that sounds super businessy, but this is a music business. And when it comes to Ibiza, it's about selling tickets. Whether you're Carl Cox or you're Charlotte DeWitt, it's still about selling tickets. Not personally, but you're doing it by your brand and your audience and what else you've got going on. Ibiza's the same when it comes to selling tickets, only these shows are much, much bigger. So the artists they're booking need to be bigger and have much more pull. If you look at some of the lineups, some of these lineups have only got 3 people on them. So it's about adding your name to that bill. What can you bring to the party? So you need to have hype and stuff going on. And this will come from music releases. It'll come maybe from DJ skills. It'll maybe come from an audience on social media. All these things are going to matter. Maybe if you're planning your music releases and you're trying to get tracks signed to labels, look at the labels that have parties across the summer in Ibiza, and maybe they can be the top of your ladder targets. But even if you look at those parties, you'll find, again, they only have 3 or 4 acts playing, and they're definitely going to be bigger in size. So these goals of playing these parties might be not just next year goals, but 3-year goals. Look at the people in the 3rd and 4th positions and see what they've got going on. Understand where they sit in the dance music food chain. This is going to be key for you achieving your goals. If you didn't see this video on how to get more gigs using Instagram, check it out as well. It's going to give you loads of tips on how to use your Instagram to grow your following to get you more DJ gigs. When it comes to being on island and finding those big gigs, right, plan your attack. Which ones align with your sound? You can't go to every party, so you might as well go to the ones that you can network and maybe meet the people that are going to help you with those gigs along the way. Put yourself on their radar. Understand where the backstage area could be from a party. Which door are people coming in and out of? Can you meet them coming out the door? Can you hang out after the party and meet people as they come out of the club and have that little one-to-one conversation with somebody? Can you find your way into a green room? There's always a green room at a party. Be brave and get on your blag. You can get in there. When you're going to these parties and you're going on a mission to try and get gigs, it's not about getting smashed. It's about getting to a level where you can network properly and meet the right people, but you're brave enough to get into these areas. The final part of playing in Ibiza is playing the after parties and the secret villa parties and just the random shows that pop up. And this is about riding your luck whilst you're on island, having a USB in your pocket at all time with your tunes on so you're ready to go. When you're on the island, it's about taking the opportunities and just saying yes to stuff. If you're young and you're in your 20s and your 30s, open yourself up to opportunities is so important. If you are hanging in Ibiza, pull yourself together and get back out there. There's no point lying around in bed hanging. You can sleep when you get home and you can recover when you get home. Get back out there, get some water and have something to eat. Take every opportunity to chat to people. You're on a sunshine island. People are more open to chatting and you never know what's going to come from it. Do you want to come to a party? Yes, definitely. Do you want to come to a party in the middle of nowhere? Yeah, why not? Do you want to get on this rickety old carriage with this horse pulling it with 10 other people to come to a party in the middle of nowhere that's going to probably cost you a whole load of money on a taxi to get back from? Yeah, why not? Always use your best judgment, obviously. If it looks too dodgy, definitely don't go. But if it looks like it can be fun and it looks like it can open opportunities, definitely a big fat yes. And always remember, network, network, network. When it comes to dance music, that's going to open opportunities for you. And those opportunities might be from getting records signed, might be getting from gigs. You never know, but just say yes and go forward. Okay, to recap, get to the island and learn the landscape of the events and the scene on Ibiza. Learn where the bars are, learn which ones are popping, learn which boat parties are popping. Meet the people that put the parties on, first and foremost. Build your network and get some contacts. Say yes to potential opportunities that can lead to other things. Build your product back home and make sure your music and your DJ skills are on point. And then ask for the gigs at the right time. If you found this video useful, please can you give it a like and please subscribe to the channel. I see 64% of you not subscribed to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me grow the channel. And if you need tips and advice that give you the blueprint to becoming an artist, whether it's SoundCloud growth, Instagram growth, Spotify growth, or just getting more gigs and getting more music signed, this is definitely the channel for you. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a video. Another way to get gigs in Ibiza is to build a YouTube channel. There's an act called Suat who built his YouTube channel to hundreds of thousands of followers and that got him a residency in Ibiza at Ibiza Rocks. If you want to start building your channel, then it's about starting from zero and starting growing it up to 1,000 followers. I've made this video, which you should check out next. Let's jump into it together and I'll see you in there and I'll teach you how to build your YouTube channel from scratch. Let's go.